What is up, guys? It's your boy Cthulhu Cacus, and today we've got some brand spanking new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live, revealing official information. And so, let's get started. But first, real quick, if you're in the market for a new PC, you've got to check out Evolve PCs. Click the link in the description, customize the perfect PC for you, and have it shipped straight to your door. Just don't forget to use the code CACUSHD to save some money. Alright, now as for the TWAB, well, actually, first of all, what went on this week in Destiny 2? Well, a lot, actually. First of all, we had the launch of the Guardian Games 2023 event. So, the brand new Taraxipus Strand Scout Rifle is dropping. If you guys haven't seen my God Roll guide on that, definitely check it out. I can confirm, someone sent me some video evidence on Twitter that the combination of Gutshot Straight will actually improve the explosive damage of explosive payload, even if you're getting precision shots, because the explosive damage is never actually classified as precision damage. It's always like white instead of yellow, right? So that is actually a pretty exciting combination. Now, aside from that, guys, something else massive that happened this week is that yesterday, Bungie released an article previewing a bunch of the buffs and nerfs coming with Season 21, with a focus on abilities. So, TLDR, supers are pretty much all getting buffed. Literally every super in the game is affected by increased PvE damage resistance. In addition to that, a lot of individual supers are getting huge buffs, like Burning Maul is now going to apply Scorch, for example, which is huge. I did a full video breakdown on that as well. Check it out, it's linked up above. But again, roaming supers next season, they're going to be cracked. Now guys, moving on from there to that brand new information within the TWAB, speaking of next season, Bungie just dropped this image here, the first ever official teaser image of Season of the Deep, which is Season 21 next season. And this image shows us actually quite a bit. So, Season of the Deep, Bungie's taken that pretty literally. Like you see 3 Guardians, all with, I would say, almost like coral jellyfish inspired armor. Like that's probably going to be the seasonal armor. They're outside, like underwater or some sort of liquid, literally like the deep, as in like the ocean deep. And of course the massive eyeball, Cthulhu eyeball, Kraken eyeball, sea monster, whatever it actually is. And we see someone standing and observing them, and this person appears to be Sloan. So I'm going to put the side-by-side right here, and Sloan was actually the main NPC, the main character associated with the planet Titan when Destiny 2 first released. Titan has since been removed from the game. It was sunset, put in the Destiny content vault, but if Sloan is coming back, and again, she was like the Titan vendor, that would indicate that Titan is perhaps coming back. And on the planet Titan, you were on like a floating structure on top of a massive ocean of, I think it was methane, right? Like the actual planet Titan is seas and seas of methane. But in game, again, you were on these massive floating platforms with the sea below. And I think there, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm sure a lot of you guys, veterans out there, remember this too. There was like Easter eggs of, you could see leviathans, you could see sea creatures off in the distance. So, I mean, that could potentially be expanding that. And again, this is all indicating that the planet Titan might be returning next season, which is very, very exciting. Now, moving on from there, guys, we have some huge new info about Strand. Not gonna lie, this is a massive TWAB. So, you know, grab some popcorn, take a comfortable seat. You're gonna be here for a while because Bungie came out and revealed the brand new aspects that are coming next season in Season of the Deep. So, first of all, for the Hunter, we have Threaded Spectre, which says activate your class ability to leave behind a decoy woven from strand matter that draws the attention of nearby combatants after taking significant damage, or when combatants approach, the decoy detonates, dealing damage and releasing threadlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. What? That's actually insane. Like, there's been absolutely nothing like that within Destiny. And I guess because, like, the decoy would just look like a hunter activating their Silk Strand super, right? Where they're covered in strand, you potentially would fool people within the Crucible as well. And certainly in PvE, I mean, it's like throwing a monkey bomb in Call of Duty Zombies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna distract everyone, they're all gonna come, and then it's gonna blow up. That is really, really unique, and that could be really cool. Now, moving on from there, guys, the Titan aspect is called Flechette Storm, and it says, while sliding, activate your charged melee ability to leap into the air, knocking nearby targets away and dealing damage. While airborne, activate your charged melee again to launch a cluster of damaging, unraveling projectiles. Repeatedly activating melee will chain additional throws. Okay, that's really interesting. So you activate a slide melee, and we have slide melees before on Titan specifically. The Stasis Titan has like a special slide melee. So this is that, but then it launches you up in the air, and because you have multiple melee charges now, right, with the Strand melee, you can keep spamming it while in the air, and now you're going to turn it into like launching projectiles. You're going to turn your melee into a ranged attack. We're going to have to see how good that is, but that does seem very interesting to say the least. Now, moving on from there, guys, for the Warlock, we have the Wanderer aspect. Now, this says, tangles you throw attach to enemies and detonate into a suspending burst. Threadling final blows create a tangle. Now, that's the most simplistic of all of the aspects, but it could be the most powerful. Creating tangles is actually pretty easy, and turning them now into a suspending burst means that, well, you don't need to worry about tangle damage. You just throw them at you throw them at a champion, it doesn't matter. They're going to be suspended and rendered helpless. Guys, Suspend is one of the most powerful abilities in Destiny 2 right now. It translates all the way up to the end game. A ton of people are running Strand in Grandmasters just to spam Suspend over and over again. You can suspend lock champions and they literally can't do anything. It is really, really powerful. So that aspect, again, turning every tangle into basically a suspension grenade, and also having your threadling final blows now create more tangles, yeah, that's pretty saucy. Now, moving on from there, guys, Bungie goes over some important changes to the game's economy coming next season. So, first of all, something happening next season is exotic armor focusing and decryption. So, if you get a random exotic engram to drop from an enemy next season, instead of just running over it and having it decrypt into a random exotic, you can now take it to the Cryptarch and still turn it into a random exotic, I think for no cost, or you can focus it into the exact exotic armor piece you want. So, standard decryption, as I said, it's completely free, and it's basically going to act like what's happening right now. But then there's exotic focusing tier 1, where you can turn an exotic engram into an armor piece from a certain expansion. So you can see like Red War helmets, Red War arms, the Witch Queen armor and stuff like that. So if you're missing a couple, or you don't want to spend the resources, then you can just do this, and it will cost 30,000 Glimmer and an Ascendant Shard. And then for tier 2, that's gonna focus into the exact armor piece you want. So if you want the Syntheseps, you get literally the Syntheseps, and that's gonna cost 60,000 Glimmer on top of your exotic engram, 3 Ascendant Shards, and an exotic Cipher. So this, a lot of people are not happy about, because ciphers, you can kind of only get them about once a week or something like that. They are hard to come by, so this is not going to be the absolute best for farming. However, it is something that, you know, it is literally better than the system we have now, because you can just completely turn it into a random exotic for free, And that's exactly what we have now, but if you do want to focus it, it is just like gravy on top. Like, yes, it's expensive, but it does give you that option. I do hope Bungie maybe removes the Cypher part. Just let me farm it out and focus like multiple within a week if I want to spend those resources. Adding on to this, Bungie says we've also taken a pass at exotic armor stat packages, so your exotics should roll consistently higher stats and with more frequent individual stat spikes starting in Season 21. You can expect the average stats to be in the mid-60s. So no more 58 armor pieces, and this was a big concern. People are like, well, okay, I spend all of these resources, 3 Ascendant Shards, to get an armor piece, and it has trash stats. Like, what the heck is that about, right? But that is going to hopefully fix that. In addition, they say other focusable exotic armor engrams come from not just random world drops, but the Seasons Pass paid and free tracks are going to have 6 paid and 2 free per season, and the vendor reputation tracks are also going to count as these exotic engrams that you can take and then focus. And one last thing is Bungie says, since we're not raising the pinnacle cap in Season 21, the need for many pinnacle legendary rewards has dropped significantly. To help make playing our Evergreen Ritual playlist more worthwhile, we are changing the rewards for the basic complete activities challenges to a focusable powerful exotic engram. This gives players 3 to 9 free, achievable, and deterministic weekly exotic engrams ready for focusing. Okay, that's interesting as well. Again, like, you can have all the exotics you want, but if people still can't afford these focusing costs, they're not going to see the benefit of the system. So Bungie, again, maybe consider slightly altering that. In any event, guys, moving on from there, we have some deep sight activation and crafting economy changes. So in Season 21, they're going to be adding the ability to electively activate deep sight on weapon instances to obtain pattern progress. This capability can be accessible through a new mod slot in the weapon details screen for eligible weapons. So, to perform a deep sight activation on a weapon, you will need a new deep sight harmonizer currency. So non-raid weapons cost 1 harmonizer, and raid weapons will require 15 spoils of conquest in addition to the harmonizer. So this deep sight harmonizer currency can be obtained from Seasons Pass rank rewards, 3 in the free ranks, 3 in the paid. This will be the sole source of this currency for the initial rollout of the feature. Additionally, only 1 harmonizer can be stored in the inventory at a time, and this currency does not stack. Why, Bungie? Anyways, not all weapon instances will be compatible with deep sight activation, so you will be prevented from activating deep sight for a weapon that has already had its pattern unlocked. Weapons that previously had deep sight will be ineligible. You cannot activate deep sight on a weapon instance which had originally been acquired with deep sight, nor can you activate deep sight multiple times on a single weapon instance. Weapon instances purchased from raid vendors will be ineligible. However, weapons purchased from Xur and the Gunsmith will support deep sight activation. So essentially, throughout the Season's Pass, there's 3 chances to turn, I think 3 plus 3 in the paid. So if you paid 6 chances to turn weapon drops into deep sights, but you can only do it once. So if you get a weapon, you can't turn it into a deep sight, do the deep sight, get pattern progress, and do it again on the same weapon. You'll have to get another instance of that weapon that just doesn't drop deep sight, and it's basically a little bit of a catch-up mechanic. If you get unlucky, oh my goodness, you know, I'm going for the Rufus's Fury auto rifle, and I can't get any darn red borders, but I did get one. Okay, I'm going to turn this one into a deep sight, and that's at least +1 pattern progress. So, interesting. Now moving on from there, we have crafting costs that will also see a change. So legendary shard costs will be removed from all crafting components. Glimmer and enhancement core costs will remain untouched, and enhanced weapon costs are based on the weapon masterwork costs and thus will still require legendary shards, as we are not yet modifying the weapon masterwork economy in Season 21. Moving on from there, we also have some big quality of life updates. So, Bungie says over the last year, the raid and dungeon team has added triumphs to the new raids and dungeons, so Duality, Spire, Root of Nightmares, which give a boosted chance to receive the exotic weapon drop for that raid or dungeon once completed. So in Season 21, we're adding boosted triumphs to legacy content with randomly dropped exotic weapons to bring them up to our standards for raids and dungeons. We added them to existing triumphs that are retroactive, so if you already did the requisite triumphs, you immediately start getting the boosts. So here's the first table I'm going to show here, and this is for Last Wish. So if you still don't have the 1000 voices, right, these are the different triumphs that you can do that will boost the rate to actually get this exotic, right? So if you did the Petra's run, which is like flawless, you get +3, that's huge, and you have some other ones down there. Like every single challenge triumph you complete, that's +1 per, right? So this is, again, huge for anyone still trying to get these raid exotics. So moving on, here is the table for the Eyes of Tomorrow from the Deepstone Crypt raid. And then after that, here's the table for the Collective Obligation Pulse Rifle from Vow of the Disciple. And then after that, it's the Vault of Glass raids Vex Mythoclast. And then after that, guys, it's the Touch of Malice for the Kingsfall raid. So again, if you haven't gotten those exotics, now it's way more likely to get them if you go in, you complete those triumphs, and you get those boosted chances. Moving on from there, guys, we have the Finest Matter and Rainmaker Depreciation. So they say as part of our ongoing efforts to simplify the economy, it's time to say goodbye to the Finest Matter Weave and Rainmaker consumable items. Starting next season, these items will no longer drop from any source in the game. In any instance where players would have retrieved a Finest Matter Weave, they receive 1 enhancement core instead. Yeah, obviously, I don't know why that wasn't like that from the start. And whenever a player would have gotten a drop from Rainmaker, they just get 3000 Glimmer. Furthermore, all existing instances of these items in players' inventories can be consumed to directly grant their associated materials. Finally, so all existing instances of Finest Matter Weave can be dismantled for 1 enhancement core each, and Rainmakers can be turned into 3000 Glimmer. I have so many of each in my inventory that I just always forget to click on. This is huge. Now, moving on from there, guys, we have some Vanguard bounty updates. So for daily bounties, existing daily bounties requiring you to get a specific type of kill, grenade, headshot, whatever, now require twice as many kills to complete, but can be done anywhere in the game with increased progress in Vanguard Ops or Nightfall. And we've also added a number of new bounties, so killing elites, mini-bosses, champions, killing with elemental abilities, filling bonuses for killing with a subclass verb, completing 2 Vanguard activities, etc. But they say regarding repeatable bounties, so it's enemy type bounties, kill hive, vex, etc. They have significantly increased requirements, but they can be advanced by killing any combatant in a Vanguard activity with significantly increased progress for killing the correct type of enemy. Next up, Bungie is increasing the price of the Season's Pass. They say, as our teams continue to invest in crafting compelling seasonal experiences for the year of Lightfall, we wanted to give a heads up that there is a small increase to the standalone Season's Pass price. So, the Season's Pass is going from 1000 silver to 1200 silver, and the Season's Pass plus 10 ranks bundle is 2000 silver to 2200 silver. By the way, like, that seems like the biggest ripoff of all time. Just 10 ranks for double the entire cost of the Season's Pass. I mean, I can't hate on the pricing too much. That's what, like, every game does out there. But still, well, Bungie, that's totally fine. But if the price is going to increase, our expectations of the quality of the content are going to increase. So y'all can't cry if we get mad at you for putting out another season of the Plunder if you're going to increase the price. All right? That's the deal. If you put out good content, we're not going to say anything. But if you guys keep breaking half the game every time a little patch comes out, guess what? We have every right to be even more upset because we literally paid more. That's the deal, Bungie. Anyways, guys, this only applies to buying the Seasons Pass specifically. If you buy the Lightfall bundle, which includes all of the seasons from 20 to 23, that is not increasing in price. Now, moving on from there, guys, again, there's more. We have some changes to trials and flawless rewards. So, in Season 21, there will be more Trials rewards. They say next season, Guardians will have a chance to unlock new exotic cosmetic rewards when opening the Lighthouse Rewards chest. So we have the Hero's Wake exotic Ghost Shell right here. We have the Valiant Memory exotic ship. We have the Survivor's Journey exotic Sparrow. And there's going to be a new shader, the Glorious Patina exotic shader that you can see right here. Now, Bungie says this shader and any shaders released in the future for Trials will be permanently unlocked once acquired. Transmog to your heart's content. This beauty can be applied to any piece of equipment. Just a heads up, Glorious Pentata will only be available to players who go flawless in Season 21. Future seasons will see the return of older Trials shaders that were previously exclusive to Adept weapons as rewards for completing the first seasonal flawless ticket, and they will now be fully accessible and usable on all your Transmog Hungry gear. And here is the table right here. Now, in Season 21, here's what's being added to the Trials loot pool. So first of all, we have the Messenger High Impact Kinetic Pulse Rifle. You know, this has been in the Trials loot pool quite a few times. However, it is still one of the best PvP pulse rifles in the game. Then, a brand new one, the Unexpected Resurgence Adaptive Arc Glaive. That's right, a glaive is going to be in the Trials pool. You know, we'll see how that turns out. And Bungie does say the Adept version of the Unexpected Resurgence, the Glaive, will be first available the weekend of June 9th, while the Adept version of the Messenger will be available on the weekend of June 16th. And the following weapons will be removed from the loot pool in Season 21, the Inquisitor Shotgun and the Whistler's Whim Bow. Next up, Bungie does have a section talking about the Trials Labs situation, so I'm just going to put that up on screen. If you want to pause and read that for yourselves, go ahead. Essentially, Bungie messed with the style of matchmaking for Trials. Of course, they say overall the new system worked mostly as intended. Every single time they change matchmaking, they say it works as intended, and everyone on Twitter says it's the worst thing ever, so I don't know what to believe anymore. Guys, anyways, moving on from there, they say Trials of Osiris intro quest, Dominion, and more. So, we want to make the Trials introductory quest more of an actual introduction to Trials and less of a do a time-consuming thing before you can play Trials. So, in Season 20, new players are asked to go and get 50 Crucible kills, raise their power level, and reset their Valor rank once. This last step is asking a lot and serves more as a barrier to entry than we'd like, so here are the changes. For Step 1, you complete your competitive placement matches, and this helps to get players introduced to a 3v3 and revive game modes in an environment where they will be matched with similarly skilled opponents. Then they get 50 kills in competitive, and they raise their power level. Step 2, pick up a Trials passage, play a game of Trials, win one round of Trials, and get one elimination in Trials. And then you get a reward, and it's going to be a roll of the Astral Horizon Trials Shotgun. Okay, so change there. Also, with Trials passages, for Passage of Wealth, it previously granted increased reputation on wins 3, 5, and 7 on a card. This is at odds with a system that wants you to continue playing on a 7-win card to get the most efficient progress and best rewards. So in Season 21, this passage will grant plus 75 Trials rep for every win, along with additional bonuses for your current major rank in Trials up to plus 150 total. And this encourages players to just grab Passage of Wealth and then just keep playing, like grind all weekend. I think that's a good change. Then for Passage of Mercy. In Season 21, this passage will forgive 2 losses if you have not yet been flawless for the week. After going flawless, if you reset your card, it will revert to forgiving a single loss on each card. This will give players a better chance of going flawless, etc. So, Yes, it does take away from the mystique of going flawless, but, you know, with the player numbers that we're seeing, I think we're past that point, unfortunately. The player population just isn't high enough, and doing stuff like this is going to make more people actually interact with trials, because now if you can forgive 2 losses, you have a much better chance of going flawless. More people will just stay in the playlist. Then they have a section on Dominion. So in Season 21, we will be moving to Dominion as the core game mode for Trials. This is not a change we are making lightly, but after several seasons of testing it in Trials labs and analyzing both the positive and negatives, we believe this shift is in the best interest of Trials as a whole for several reasons, and they give all those reasons right there. I'll let you guys read that. We'll have to see, Bungie. Here's the thing, you can make these changes, no problem, but after several seasons, if players don't like it, you gotta revert these changes and swallow your pride. Now, moving on from there, guys, for Gilded Flawless. So, we wanted to make some changes to Gilding Flawless to better align it with the difficulty of gilding the Glorious title. So, the Gilded Flawless requirements in Season 20 were as follows, and then in Season 21, the requirements will change to what you can see right here if you want to pause and read. Moving on from there, Bungie says for this new iteration of Trials, we wanted to provide a special deterministic reward to allow players to prove their skill above and beyond simply going flawless. And it's this emblem right here, which will be rewarded to players when they open the flawless chest at the lighthouse if they did not trail during any of their wins on their flawless run. Meaning, you must get a Flight of the Pigeon medal for every win. Highly skilled players may be able to achieve this in their first run, but for others, it will take a lot more. So that's kind of like throwing a bone out there for the hardcore players. Since it's easier to go flawless with the double forgiveness, this emblem is now gonna, show off if you're really cracked at the game. Moving on from there, Bungie is doing map voting. You can vote for either Rusted Lands, Convergence, or Disjunction. Right now, Rusted Lands is in the lead. Everyone hates Disjunction, or most people don't like Disjunction, but the meme is that everyone's gonna vote for it because it's funny. And the fact that it's in second place right now is kind of proving that. Anyways, guys, there's new Prime gaming rewards. You can see them right here. The Hit the Bag exotic emote, the Phalanx exotic ghost shell, the Alton's Ambus exotic or legendary sparrow, the Pumping Iron legendary ghost hollow projection. And guys, oh my goodness, we are finally done. Massive TWAB. Like, we had so much to talk about, but some pretty exciting stuff coming in Season 21, certainly. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.